Hello guys, one of the important Ukrainian victories and the great humiliation for Russia is the destruction of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. And now a very similar approach we observe with the Russian Shadow Fleet. Sanctioned by many countries, these tankers continue traveling the world, threatening our oceans and earning bloody money for the Russian war budget. So someone had to react seriously, and that was the Ukrainian SBU. Together with our marine forces, they developed an operation involving our marine drones, Sea Babies, and they critically damaged two Russian Shadow Fleet tankers in the waters of the Black Sea. They chose a moment when these tankers were empty, good for our nature, and traveled from Egypt to Novorossiysk. A kind reminder, Novorossiysk is the new headquarters for the leftovers of the Russian Black Sea Fleet after they had to escape from the previous headquarters in Sevastopol, Crimea, which we destroyed. So let's discuss how these Ukrainian drone sanctions actually target Russia's Shadow Fleet way better than any economic, and why it's important for the defeat and demilitarization of Russia. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see Putin in The Hague, subscribe, I'm sure we will discuss that on the channel sometime really soon, and please share these videos, that's important. So let's begin with this really good news, because finally our drones and our SBU developed an operation that targeted Russia's Shadow Fleet. After we upgraded their Black Sea Fleet to the scrap metal on the bottom of the Black Sea, now the term comes to the Shadow Fleet. It's an evil instrument which helped Russia avoid the sanction, threaten our nature because they use rusty, outdated tankers, and, mock the world, mock the international law, and keep earning that bloody money. There are too many of such tankers, and somehow sanctions do not work against them effectively. Understanding that perhaps Russia's Shadow Fleet is one of very few sources of their income left, the SBU, together with Ukrainian marine forces, developed an operation and targeted last night two tankers. They were most likely attacked with sea drones, Sea Babies. And this once again reminds us that the war of the 21st century is very different from what many NATO countries keep preparing for. And that is another reminder that Ukraine needs NATO, but NATO also needs Ukraine. So these marine drones managed to critically damage not one, as was reported previously, but actually two of these tankers. One is known as Kairos and another one as Virat. They were under sanctions, they are on this list, and the question, what were they doing in the waters of the Black Sea, near Bosphorus, near Turkey? They set on fire really quickly. The crew members were rescued, no one harmed apart from these tankers. They cannot be repaired, and what's important for you to understand the size of problems caused by this just one attack for the Russian budget. During such one trip, each could carry approximately $70 million worth of oil. And now, when Russia lacks trillions of rubles in their budget, and the expenses keep growing, and they need to pay their war criminals on the front lines, this is a very serious problem. And you know that economic problems, they tend to amass. So these tankers were huge, like it seems to me 270 meters long each. Of course, they could contain a lot of illegal oil products, but again, and I'm proud of that, the SBU chose a moment when they were empty, when they were returning back from that dirty mission, and that's the moment when we targeted them, critically damaging, on the way to Novorossiysk. And every time I hear Novorossiysk, I have a lot of very positive emotions, because first of all, Ukrainian drones are often visitors to that place that is on the side of the Russian Federation, an active war zone inside Russia. And that is also the headquarters of the Black Sea Fleet. And here many forget that for decades after the collapse of the Russian Federation, because of their energy manipulations and blackmail, Russia remained in Crimea. That was their trick and plan, because Crimea is a good platform for attacks or the defense. That's why we need to return Crimea. It's critical for safety and security, not just of Ukraine, but let's be honest, of Bulgaria, of Romania, and even Turkey, because Russia always brings problems. And if we don't have Russian warships in the waters, we can keep trading, traveling, relaxing, and that's the plan. But before that, we need to clean these waters from these illegal vessels. Illegal not just because they are sanctioned, not just because they are a part of the Shadow Fleet, but also because these are outdated, rusty tankers that all the countries stopped using. That's how they actually get them. They steal or buy scrap metal, literally, that can collapse even without the influence of the sea drones and cause big troubles if it's not empty. In our case, they were empty, and I'm highlighting this. So Novorossiysk is the new headquarters of the Black Sea Fleet, and Russia lost this strategic location for its Black Sea Fleet headquarters after serious attacks that they experienced, most likely neutralizing not just the headquarters but a couple of admirals. But most importantly, a lot of their warships, a lot of their submarines were upgraded to the scrap metal. And it's effective, it's important for the safety and security, for lasting peace in this part of the world, but also it's deeply symbolic. Many of you remember that the full scale began with the Russian warship Moskva addressing just a few Ukrainian guards on the Snake Island, and how bravely and confidently they denied to surrender and actually sent that Russian warship where it reached finally. You know, you can guess this irony. What's interesting, Moskva, that warship, didn't go there alone, but with a very big fleet. Literally, Russia does not have any normal operating Black Sea Fleet left. What they moved to Novorossiysk, just the leftovers, and even there we keep demilitarizing them. So the number of big failures and losses is growing, and this is what you have to think about when crafting the peace proposal. Now is not the time to appease Putin. Now is the time to defeat this Kremlin goblin. And on the new channel, remember to watch a fresh video about serious financial problems inside the Russian army and why it's so important. Spoiler, you may guess, most of their soldiers are there not because of the ideology or any moral values, but because of money. And as the budget is getting thinner and thinner, actually it's negative, they lack trillions of rubles, they have no money to pay these Russian war criminals. And there is no way out. Putin does not want 1 million of these bloodthirsty people back to Russia, but he doesn't have money to keep them away. And he's afraid of conscription, which he actually needs. So our task is to remain united and to understand that the lasting peace, security and normalcy on this planet is only possible after the defeat of the Kremlin regime and justice served to all the main war criminals. Justice is way more important than even reparations. So subscribe, watch that video too, follow me on other social media, X, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, Discord, the links in the description of this video, same as the link to our merch shop where we've got lots of really good seasonal products that turn you into the ambassadors of Ukraine and help you remind the world about our fight and the need to defeat Russia. And also, now we have minus 15% on everything. So use this opportunity for meaningful presents and spreading messages about Ukraine. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, but most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. United we stand. Slava Ukraini!